Hi, I'm Mike from Michael's Motor Cars, located in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And before I forget, happy holidays to everybody. We're having a little snowstorm in Lancaster, which is very nice this time of year. Today, I'm showing a really special Jaguar. It's a 1958 Jaguar XK150 Coupe. So come on over and take a look at the car. I have a lot to tell you about this car. It has an interesting history. It's in beautiful condition. Please take the time and watch our driving video. And we'll also do, of course, a cold start video on the car. To begin with, we do have the Heritage Certificate on the car, the Heritage Trust Certificate. We know the car was built, it was dispatched February 26th of 1958. It came into Jaguar Cars, New York. The car was originally born with pearl gray with a red interior. Of course, that has changed through the years. I would like to point out this car was professionally restored, and it was restored to a concours level quality. It was twice the winner at the Long Island Jaguar Club concours. It placed second in the Hamptons concours. It appeared on Cablevision's My Favorite Car, and it was featured in the Greenwich concours in the early 2000s. It does have the one deviation from originality. It has a British 5-speed transmission in it right now. I don't believe it's a Tremec. I don't know if it's a Rover or not. It's called a Visirage 5-speed transmission. And it has a different Motorlita steering wheel on the car. It retired from competitive competition as far as concours goes in the early 2000s, and then it did vintage tours and rallies. It was first in class at the 2011 Cheer International Car Show, first and second in class in the Brits at the Village Car Show, on and on and on. It also was a poster car in the 2016 Newtown Classic and Antique Car Show. So it's been a well-known car on the East Coast, the Northeast, now down here in the Pennsylvania area. It also specifically, when the car was judged to a concours level, it scored very high. For example, and this is a Jaguar Club of North America, it scored 929.2 out of 1,000. It then got an add-on because it was driven. So it was a 9.89 out of 100. And another show, it scored a 9.95 out of 100. So, and we have all of these records. It's a high-scoring, well-known concours car. It then, like a lot of these cars, turned into a touring car. And this is where I get excited because I like driving these cars. So let's start up front here. The engine, it is a numbers matching car. So the engine block matches the plate on the car and the heritage certificate. So it's an original motor in the car. It does have a replacement cylinder head. The cylinder head is a different number than the block, although it is a correct head for it. You'll see all over the car slight modifications that were done when it turned into a touring car. We have a higher spark coil on it. Down here you can't see it, but there's a Mallory ignition distributor on it. So it is tuned a little differently. You'll see in the driving video, the car drives beautifully. The engine is very strong, very smooth. It also has, the generator was rebuilt for more electrical power for the car. So the car drives beautifully combined with the 5-speed. Coming along the front of the car, this is a matter of personal preference, but all of the antique badges come with the car. There's another badge bar down here. Personally, I think they should be a little lower, but that's just personal preference. The previous owner loved all the badges, so they're all right here. It does have some very rare amber Lucas driving lights, and of course it has the cool period correct headlights on it. All of the chrome trim has held up beautifully. The chrome on this car is wonderful. It has beautiful luster to it. The paint overall has also held up extremely well. You can see that it was, when it was done originally, redone, it was a concours level restoration. I love it. It's got all the different tours along here on the top, very proudly displaying all the tours it's done. I've done this myself up at Watkins Glen. This car has driven the old course at the, used to be the Zippo Grand Prix, and the other Grand Prix for vintage cars. You get to drive the old course. So this car has participated in that. As I continue with the theme of the car turning into a really driven car and a usable car, We have an awful lot of receipts on this car, going back in the late 2018, 2019, 2020. The car was completely rebushed. It has a neoprene bushings on it, and you'll see that in our chassis photos. Gives it a much stiffer driving feel, and I mentioned that when I drive the car. It's much tighter than the car was originally from the Jaguar factory. Of course, it's four-wheel disc brakes. The whole feel of the car is just much stronger and very secure. It also has a lot of other nice upgrades. It has a Holley electric fuel pump, which is mounted in the frame rail, which provides plenty of fuel to the carburetors. Coming along the side of the car, the shut lines are very nice. Down here, the paint is all beautiful. And then coming back farther, I'll show you the interior of the car. And please take the time to look at all the photos we do. The interior on this car is just gorgeous. The leather is excellent. It has a nice feeling to it. It is the thicker, heavier leather like it should be. We have the Motor-Lita wooden steering wheel. The transmission, it is a 5-speed, as I mentioned. It's a relatively short throw shift on it, so that's different than what it had, a much longer throw originally. They are Dayton chrome wire wheels. We have Vredestein radials on it, which I happen to really like on these cars. You got the classic, I love this on the coupes, where they just have this curvature. I have a 140 drop head coupe, so I'm biased on these cars. I love these cars. They're so much fun. The rear of the car is beautiful. You got the dual exhaust. Again, the chrome is excellent. Noteworthy is that the trunk latches are working properly. These are difficult to adjust. On this car, they're working. See, it also sprang up because on the 150 is when they added the trunk brace, which is really nice, so it doesn't hit you on the head when you lean into it. We have a Thor hammer, and following on when the car shifted to being a really driven car, a bottle jack. And of course, the 5th spare tire is under this in the trunk well. This support is working properly. You lift it up and down, and then the trunk closes, and it is lightly sprung, as it should be. And that works well. The shut lines are nice. Coming along the right side of the car, same thing. Shut lines on the doors are nice, very nice straight lines on the side of the car. And you can see here, one thing I love about the 120, 140, 150, how far the doors open. They actually open beyond where you think the hinges can go, and that's the way they're designed. So these cars are very easy to get in and out of. You can see the rear seat area. This car was also equipped with shoulder seat belts, which were added. But it's a lovely car to do tours in, and that's what it's been doing for the last couple of years. It's a solid performer. It finishes all the tours it starts, which is very typical of this type of Jaguar. They're really, when they're done properly, like this car is, they're very reliable, very strong cars. And with the 5-speed, very capable of highway speeds. So if you've been thinking about a car like this, take a good look at this car. We have a known history on the car. It's been known on the East Coast for a long time. Proven records, proven scoring sheets as to the authenticity of the car. Then shifted over to being a touring car, a serious touring car, with a great engine, great suspension, 5-speed transmission, and now you have, to me, kind of the best of both worlds. This car still would judge very well in any show, and yet you can then take it and drive it and have a lot of fun with it. So please ask us any questions you may have. We'll be happy to answer them, send any additional photos, and I really hope we find a home for this car, someone that's just itching to go on a Jaguar tour. They're really fun to do, and take it on the road course again around Watkins Glen. That's what this car's capable of. So again, happy holidays. Thanks for taking the time watching the video, and hopefully we'll find a good home for this car. Thanks again.